Hi all, welcome to part 12, module 2, computer networks. So we already seen the effect of a receiver window in a sliding window protocol and the two variation accordingly, the go back and select to repeat. So now in this video we will see something more into go back end. So please watch the previous video and come to this, otherwise you will not understand. So I assume that till 11 the part you completed. So I am proceeding with that. So go back end protocol. So whether it is go back and or select to repeat, we will be explaining. We have to when you analyze such a protocol, you have to see three things. What about the sender window size? Similarly, what about the receiver window size, and how it is handling acknowledgement? So these three things are actually varying. This go back and select to repeat, that kind of protocol. So first we will see about the sender window size of the go back end protocol. So sender window size being denoted like 1 second. Yeah, this is a notation I mean. So what about the sender window size? See, it is n itself. From where this n is coming? 1 second. Let me take the pen. This n, right, the name itself. So whenever you are saying go back n protocol, that n is nothing but the sender window size, right? For example, if it is go back 10 protocol, the sender window size is what? 10. Okay, so hope this naming convention is clear. So that you have to be careful. If it is a go back 10 protocol, then the sender window size will be 10. So how you are getting this sender window size? That is something we already seen. That is a minimum of 1 plus 2a and 2 power n. So whatever which is minimum 2 power n or 1 plus 2a, accordingly you will fix this value, and accordingly you are giving the number for your protocol. Now if you want, if the minimum is found to be 8, still if you if the minimum is found to be say some 12, still if you want you can make it something that is convenient for the protocol, but it should not be more than this 12 anyway. You can so for your algorithm you choose it to be 10, then it is fine. But if the minimum is found to be 12, so that 12 is an ideal value, right? Okay, so whatever it is, in when you come up with the protocol, the go back 10 means it is particularly for sender window size of 10. So that is how they are given the name. And n should always be greater than 1, because if it is 1, it is simply works as stop and wait, right? So in order to implement the pipelining, n is equal to 1, it reduces to the normal to stop and wait concept, and there is no pipelining at all. And what about the efficiency of go back ends? First tell me, what is efficiency of stop and wait? Stop and wait. What is efficiency? It is 1 by 1 plus 2a. That means during this 1 plus 2a, that is sender window maximum. So 1 plus 2a, if you are making sender window, definitely you are going to get maximum efficiency, right? But many constraints are there, like depending on the type of protocol, the sequence number, field, this is something you will reduce, and accordingly the efficiency will decrease. So in go back 10 protocol, you are sending 10 in a single stretch, right? So 1 plus 2a, during that this has to be the ideal window size. If that many you are sending, you will get 100% efficiency, but normally this window size will be less than that. So in go back n, you are sending n, right? So the efficiency will be n by 1 plus 2a. Stop and wait, it is 1 by 1 plus 2a, but when it comes to go back n, it is n by 1 plus 2a. So during that 1 plus 2a maximum performance window size, you are sending n. And if n is equal to 1 plus 2a, you will get 100% efficiency. But in practical case, that is not the case. And a, you know, the propagation time by frame transition time. And b is the bandwidth of the channel. So all those things, again, these parameters, everything we already seen. Again, I am repeating. Watch the previous video and come to this. And b is what? The bandwidth of the channel. If b is a bandwidth, then the throughput or the effective bandwidth is also something we calculated in stop and wait. And we find a generalized formulation for throughput. It is always efficiency into bandwidth. So the actual bandwidth will be limited by the efficiency. So if bandwidth is some b unit of time, efficiency is that n by 1 plus 2a. Accordingly, if it's 25%, suppose you have this many hertz of bandwidth, only 25% of it you can utilize effectively. So the effective bandwidth or the bandwidth utilization or throughput is efficiency into actual bandwidth that the media is having. Now the second parameter, very important, that's the receiver window size. In go back and protocol, we already seen the receiver window size is just 1. So in the previous slide we saw two variations of sliding window protocol, with the receiver window to be 1 and with the receiver window to be some larger value, something greater than 1. So the receiver window is 1 fixed for go back ends, and for where the sender window is n, and for selective repeat protocol it is greater than 1. And normally sender and the receiver window size they will keep equal. That is enough. Receiver window need not be more than that. Okay, so that is a thing. So keep this in mind. In go back N protocol, n is the sender window size and its receiver window size is just 1. So we will take an example where the sender window size is to be 4. So if sender window size is 4 means it is a go back 4 protocol, and the receiver window size is 1 irrespective of the sender window size fixed in any go back N protocol. And we will see how it is working, something we already seen in the previous slide only. So the window is 4 at any time, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3. So initial window is like so this is how the window is moving. So initially it is something like this. There's many things. Then the cylinder moved to this rectangle. Again it is more slide it to this rectangle like that. So now what will happen? Initially you send your window is 4, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 3. 4 packets you sent. Now what happened? 0 received correctly, fine. 1 received correctly, fine. Now it is waiting for 2. The receiver side the window is just 1. So it can accommodate only 1. So it is waiting for 2. So what happened? The 2 is lost or 2 received with some error. In both the cases, when if the 3 or subsequent frames are coming, it is forcefully discarded by the receiver. Now when 0 is received, some acknowledgement for 0 will be reaching, right? So this is the acknowledgement. So for 0, similarly for 1 the acknowledgement is coming. So whenever such acknowledgements are coming, so when the acknowledgement for 0 is coming, it will improve the it will slide the window like this. So 4 is also inside my window. That means I am going to send 4. Now when I am getting acknowledgement for this 1, right? This 1 is now processed. So this 0 is processed, 1 is processed. So now I am making my window like this, right? This rectangle. So now who are all inside my window? Sorry, not this. 2, 3, and so now inside my window. Initially it is like a 0, 1. So both are received, right? So the window is now slided to 2, 3, 4, 5. So now these 4 are there in the window. So 5 is also sent. But even though they are in the window, the problem is when 2 is lost, actually the sliding window concept or the pipelining concept will send 3, 4 and 5 without waiting. During the waiting time, right? Then after sending 4, it will wait for 2. So minimum means if it keep on sending now, then it will go out of control. So you know how this window is selected, everything, all those things I already explained. So it is actually waiting for the acknowledgement for 2. So instead of simply waiting, it send 3 more packets. So that is a scenario, but unfortunately the receiver window is just 1, so it will discard this 3, 4 and 5. So all those things will be discarded at the receiver side because this 2 is lost, right? So what will happen naturally after this, this is a current window, so window will not slide further because for center window only 4. So and then those 4 were sent. So now the timer will be started with every frame transmitted, right? So it is here it is highlighted the timer for 2 only. So this is the time. So when the timer expires, what you will do is you will simply retransmit. From the point, what is the last frame transmitted? 5. So from this point, go back 4. So what is the last frame transmitted? 5. Go back 4. So here from here, go back 4. That is, 4th position backward, including this 5. This 5, 4, 3 and 2. Or in the window, that window as a whole you retransmit. So you are going to retransmit this 2, 3, 4, 5. So window transmitted again. Right? And if everything is coming fine, everything will be received, then accordingly window will proceed to the next one. And sequence number again here we didn't assume anything, and sequence number concept we will see soon, maybe in the next video. Yeah, now it's theoretical explanation. Just you can go through this. The example assumes center window size to be 4, right? The same one what we explained is just listed down. Assume it has lost. It has lots of sequence number. We are not taking any assumption right now for sequence number. Simply we are assuming it to be enough. Now the sender sends 0, 1, 2, 3. After acknowledging the packet 0 and 1, the receiver is now expecting 2. Hope you remember, right? Just look at the previous example. and the sender now also slided further to packets 4 and 5. So now suppose the packet 2 is lost in the network, the receiver will discard, if it is lost, all the subsequent frames, and because it is expecting 2. So on the sender side, for every packet sent, there is a timeout timer, and this timeout timer particularly for this packet number 2 is now expired. Now from the last transmitted packet 5, very important, the sender will go back to the packet number 2, that is that n positions, including this 5. In for here 4 position in the current window, and transmit all these packets till the packet number, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So this is why we call it as go back n. Go back means here, means the sender has to go back n places from the last transmitted packet in the unacknowledged window, that current window, and not from the point where the packet is lost. It is not from 2, so that is just highlighted. From the last send packet 5, go back 4 position, so that including that lost packet, everything will be retransmitted again. So that about the go back n protocol. Now one more thing I just want to highlight is about the protocol, how it is dealing with the acknowledgements. As we already know, there are 2 ways of giving acknowledgement, the cumulative and the independent acknowledgement. Cumulative acknowledgement means one acknowledgement is for many packets. So the main advantage here is it is less prone to traffic. The disadvantage is about the reliability. So the thing is that packet number 1, packet number 2, packet number, so maybe for 0, 1, 2 together, say a single acknowledgement will be coming back, like say ACK 3, means next I am expecting 3, in that way. So when it will be sending an acknowledgement, just like the timer here also, you can start an acknowledgement timer with some pretty good value, and when this timer expires, you can send this particular acknowledgement for all the frames that are being received on the last few time. So acknowledgement so now what is the problem? If this single acknowledgement is lost due to some reason, it simply says that 0, 1, 2, nothing received, so everything the center has to retransmit. So the disadvantage is the reliability, how much you can trust. But independently, for everyone separate acknowledgement is coming, if one is lost, still you will get other. But 0, 1, 2 together you are saying this single acknowledgement, so it will it's not a reliable solution, less reliability. As if one acknowledgement is lost, that would mean that all the packets sent are lost. In that way the sender will interpret, and it may go to retransition and all. But when it comes to independent acknowledgement, if every packet is going to get an acknowledgement independently, like the 0 acknowledgement, next 1 its acknowledgement, next 2 its acknowledgement, like that independently for every packet we have separate acknowledgement. So definitely the reliability will be high compared to the other one, but traffic also, because that many acknowledgement control frames you have to deal with. But picky backing is something, a solution, a variation of it, where the traffic you don't have to worry much, but still piggybacking is kind of cumulative acknowledgement, in the sense, because you have to wait for some time until you are getting that frame from the higher layer, data frame. Okay, so this is about the acknowledgement as an independent message, as a different control message, 2 variation. But if you look at go back, and it is mainly using cumulative acknowledgement, but selective repeat is preferring independent acknowledgement, because as we already seen, I just given you a comparison kind of thing in the previous video, just watch that. Selective repeat is something found to be better, complex, costly solutions, right? So definitely we are ready to spend that cost, and we have a perfect algorithm. So why don't we spend some cost in form of this traffic or whatever it is. Okay, why don't we spend some cost for this independent acknowledgement also? That is a scenario. But go back and is something found to be a cost effective solution, so where it is preferred to have this cumulative acknowledgement. So at the receiver side, it starts the acknowledgement timer. So like cumulative, when it is cumulative acknowledgement, it can work with the help of the timer only. Whenever the receiver receives any packet which is a fixed timer, and when it expires, it is is going to send a single cumulative acknowledgement for the number of packets which are received in the last. So if n packets were received, acknowledgement number will be n plus 1 because next expected sequence number. So this is the standard convention, but if you want you can keep it as n also. Maybe in Tannenbaum it is somewhere it is explained like that. So that about it. The acknowledgement timer will not start after the expire of the first timer, but after the receiving, acknowledgement timer, when you will start, it is not like the previous timer expire immediately the next timer is going to start. It is not like that. When it is getting the very first frame, it will start the acknowledgement timer, okay, because that is enough. And after some time, to cumulatively, sometimes maybe for a long time no other packet will come, then at least for this 0 you have to send an acknowledgement, right? So it will start when it received the first packet only. And the timeout timer at the sender side should always be greater than the acknowledgement timer, because the timeout timer is waiting for the acknowledgement, right? So if you are keeping your acknowledgement timer more than the timeout timer, definitely it is not going to get the acknowledgement. So this is something very important. You have to keep the timeout timer greater than, or the acknowledgement timer should be a value less than timeout timer, a considerably good value. So not only less in the sense, after the timer expire you are going to send the acknowledgement, and only after getting that acknowledgement the timeout timer should expire, otherwise it's not going to work fine. So just as an example for the cumulative and independent acknowledgement, cumulative we have a single acknowledgement for number of packets, so acknowledgement number C, and independent for everyone, 1 acknowledgement number 2, for 2 acknowledgement number 3, and 3 acknowledgement number 4, like that it is proceeding. So that's all. So with this we are winding up our discussion on go back N protocol. So hope you understand go back N is the sender window size, receiver window size is just 1 always in any go back N protocol, and the acknowledgement concept it is using is preferably that cumulative acknowledgement concept. Thank you. And next we will see the sliding, the window protocol, that is the selective repeat sliding window protocol.